Welcome back to Battle Axe, coming to you from the Ironside Open in Des Moines, Iowa. I'm Joey Dania alongside Bobby Bradford. We're here at the Ironside Axe Club with a tournament featuring some of the very best axe throwers in the nation. If you're new to the program, before we get the competition started here on this episode, let's go over the rules. All of the rings are worth 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 points. And then the small red dot, that's the bullseye, that's worth 6 points. You can score on each bullseye one time per half to get the 6 points. If you come up just a little short of the red dot and you get it in the ring around the bullseye, you get 5 points. Now, the small blue dot that you'll see on the outermost ring, that's what's called the kill shot. If you hit the kill shot, you get 8 points. If you miss it but still get it in the ring around that kill shot space, you get 7 points. If you miss that entirely, you get nothing. First up on today's episode, it's going to be Scott Shell taking on David Sachs. He looks pumped up.
David Sachs is definitely pumped up, as is Scott Shell. Excited to see this matchup here. Both players coming in 0-0, the first match of a best of 3. Looks like David's going for that upper left-hand side bullseye. Scott going right down Broadway.
Got to have red on both sides of the blade for it to be the bullseye. The official getting a closer look here.
And ruled a 6 there for Scott. So very close call, but must have been popping through on the right-hand side.
So Scott can no longer score 6 on the center bullseye throughout the rest of the first half of this one. Now he'll attempt to get a bullseye on the outside.
Looks like David going for that lower left-hand side bullseye, sticking to the left-hand side. Scott going for that upper right-hand side bullseye. We'll see if it's popping through the top part of that blade. Another close call. Looks like a 5 there for Scott and David.
So it remains a 1-point lead for Scott Shell.
So 11-10, Scott with a 1-point lead going into the third throw. We'll see. It looks like David's lined up for the right bullseyes now, and that's exactly the case, but he is off the mark. Looks like as is Scott Shell as well.
4, 5.
Oh, but Scott getting lucky, popping through in the bottom part of that blade for a 5.
So Scott Shell extending his lead to a couple of points here over David Sachs, 16-14 after the first 3 throws.
David's off the mark again. Going for that upper right-hand side bullseye, and that's a nice flush bullseye there for Scott.
3, 6.
A big swing there for Scott Shell. He adds on 3 more points to his 2-point lead. He's now up by 5.
Yeah, it was just a devastating 3 there by David. He's got to find the bullseye, and he's got to find it fast. He does not have a bullseye on his card yet. Only down by 5, though. Return to the middle of the board there. That could be a bullseye if it's popping through on the right-hand side of that blade. Looks like a bullseye there for both competitors.
Scott by 5.
David Sachs needed that. Keeps it a 5-point game as he switches sides with Scott Shell. He's got some work to do here in the second half.
And David with a throw there on the upper left-hand side bullseye. Could be popping through. Looks like there from the action cam it is, and a bullseye there for David, so he's able to gain a point here on Scott Shell.
Well, back-to-back bullseyes for David Sachs. Just when it looked like Scott Shell might run away with this one, here comes Sachs.
Yeah, looks like that's going to be close. David's got to be hoping that's popping through on the bottom part of that blade.
6, 5.
And ruled a 6 there for Scott, so able to get that point back as Shell.
Throw 8, 39, 34.
So 3 throws to go now. Scott Shell in the driver's seat, up by 5.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be seeing some kill shot attempts here from David Sachs, but he wants to put some positive points on the board first. See if he can sneak a point or 2 away from Scott here.
Yeah, worth noting you can only go for the kill shot twice in a match. Unless you have a drop, then you can go for it another time.
44, 40.
So now if we're going to see a kill shot, this would be the time for it, and indeed it is. David Sachs indicates he will attempt the kill shot here on throw number 9.
That's why I like the 7 ring around the kill shot. It can get you some positive points. Even if your opponent hits a bullseye, you can still gain a point on them. But it looks like that might be a flush kill shot there for David.
Big ruling coming here from the official.
Looks like that's popping through in the bottom part of the blade there for Scott Shell for a 5.
He needs it to be a 5. If not, we could have a tie game all of a sudden.
5, 8.
And it is a hit kill shot.
So a 3-point swing, all of a sudden, we've got a 2-point game.
And Scott's going to get a closer look. I don't blame him because that's a huge call. See if he calls for a second, elects to respect the ruling. So we have 49-48. Scott Shell up by 1. We'll see how aggressive he's going to be. I would imagine we're going to get another kill shot attempt here from David.
Math was never my best suit. I guess it's a 1-point game, not a 2-point game. So a real nail biter that's going to come down to this final throw here between Scott Shell and David Sachs.
Oh, and both players are going to be going up for the kill shot there. We saw David going for it. But surprised that Scott Shell is going to be going for it with a 1-point lead. This is a huge throw. All the momentum of this match was in Scott Shell's corner. Now it comes down to one throw.
That might be a 7 for David Sachs. We'll see if Shell can put the nail in the coffin here.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It's a very close throw there for David. Ooh, and it looks like that's a flush kill shot there for Scott.
Scott Shell with a dagger.
Yeah, it's all just about the points here right now. She's just checking to see if that's a 7 or an 8. And we'll see here if that's a 7 for David Sachs, if it's popping through.
7 miss.
Oh, but ruled a 7 there for Scott and a miss there for David Sachs.
So it was a kill shot that got David Sachs back in this one, but it's a kill shot that ultimately seals the victory for Scott Shell.
Yeah, that was just a tremendous performance by both competitors, really. You know, David was down in this game. He didn't have his first bullseye until the 5th throw, but kudos to him. He had 3 bullseyes in 4 throws there, and then he was really aggressive going for that kill shot there on his 9th throw and hit that kill shot to make it a 1-point game. You have to stay aggressive going for that kill shot again on the 10th throw. Unfortunately for him, Scott hit that 7 there and was able to come away with the victory. But I'm excited to see game 2 for both competitors. You know, David did a really nice job of coming back from that 3. You know, he had that 1-3 on his scorecard, but he did a great job of rebounding, putting some positive points on the board, and coming very close to stealing this one away from Scott.
A great illustration of how exciting the kill shot can make these matches. Next up, it's Randall Wildeman taking on Logan Reed.
You know, so our first time seeing Randall. We've seen Logan in a couple matches before. It's the first match of a best of 3 here between Logan and Randall. We'll see what Randall's approach is. Look like he's going to go for that upper left-hand side bullseye. And Logan going right down Broadway. So ruled a 6 there for Randall and a 4 for Logan.
So Randall Wildeman with a nice start here in game number 1 against Logan Reed in this best of 3 series.
Yeah, we'll see if he's going to line up to go for that lower left-hand side bullseye, of which he is. The same strategy that we saw with David Sachs. And Logan going to that upper right-hand side bullseye. Looks like he is off the mark. And another bullseye there for Randall.
Back-to-back bullseyes to get this one started for Randall Wildeman. Logan Reed trailing by 3 now.
We'll see if Randall can complete what we dare not speak. Looks like he's lined for that upper right-hand side bullseye, and he is off the mark. It looks like Logan is as well. He's going to have to hope that that's popping through in the top part of the blade there for a 5. And a couple 5s there.
So it remains a 3-point lead for Randall Wildeman. He was going for that elusive unicorn, 3 consecutive bullseyes, just missed it. 17-14 lead for Wildeman.
Randall seems to be getting a score check, trying to figure out how he wants to attack the board. Looks like he's going to go right down the Broadway there. And Logan going for the upper left-hand side bullseye. That could be popping through on the left-hand side there for a 5 for Logan, and it is.
And another bullseye for Randall Wildeman, his 3rd of the match. 3 bullseyes in his first 4 throws.
Yeah, he's doing a really nice job of staying consistent with that bullseye throw. I believe he's going to be lining up and going for that upper bullseye. See if it's popping through in the bottom part of the blade there for a 5, and it looks like that's going to be a bullseye there for Logan.
And it is a bullseye for Logan Reed. So that'll get him a point on Randall Wildeman. He's within 3 heading into the second half. The 2 switch sides as Randall Wildeman takes a 28-25 advantage into the second half.
Yeah, Logan was able to get a point there on Randall before the turn. We'll see if he can keep it up, attacking the middle of the board there. Looks like that could be a couple sixes for both competitors, and it is.
Logan Reed and Randall Wildeman getting into rhythm here. Back-to-back bullseyes for Reed. He's still trailing by 3 with 4 throws to go.
And Randall going for that lower left-hand side bullseye. Looks like that could be a 5 for him. And there's a nice throw there by Logan with our first unicorn of the night.
Well, Logan Reed is getting hot when he needs to. 3 consecutive bullseyes. He's within 2 now. The pressure's on for Randall Wildeman. Can he close it out, or will Logan Reed complete the comeback?
Yeah, just like in our first matchup, we had a really nice comeback here by Logan Reed. We'll see if he can do what David Sachs was unable to do and complete the journey here. But a couple 5s.
So a 2-point game, 2 throws to go, and Logan Reed will attempt a kill shot.
Love the aggressive call there. All the pressure here on Randall, and he does a nice job. We'll see what the ruling is here. Huge throw here for Logan Reed, though.
He's got to get it.
Oh, and I think he's at least got 7. We'll see if it isn't hit 8.
We might have a tied match. And we do. A 7 for Reed, a 5 for Wildeman. We're all tied up heading into the final throw.
Well, it was such a close throw there by Randall. I'm surprised he didn't get a closer look, maybe to see if it was a bullseye, knowing how crucial that 1 point would be. He elects to uphold the ruling, goes for the kill shot, and he is off the mark. You can see he is disappointed. He's left the door open here for Logan Reed, and that's a very close throw there for Logan. And a couple of misses.
So we're going to do the kill shots again now, heading to overtime. They'll attempt a kill shot. Whoever hits it first will win. And then if they both miss it 2 consecutive times, then it'll be who's ever closest on the 3rd attempt.
Looks like that's a pretty close throw there for both competitors, actually. Oh, it looks like there from our side cam you can see bottom part of the blade. And the match goes to Logan.
Well, it comes down to a matter of centimeters here as Logan Reed completes a nice comeback against Randall Wildeman, winning this one in sudden death.
Yeah, that was just a tremendous match there by both competitors. I mean, you look at the scorecard. Randall came out of the gate very hot. He had 3 bullseyes in his first 5 throws. He didn't really make any mistakes. He just kind of left the door open for Logan Reed to come back in this thing. So, unfortunately for him, he is down 0-1 going into the second game here. But for Logan Reed, you got to look at that scorecard. You know, he started off the match with a 4, then 3 consecutive 5s, but then he had that nice unicorn that really kind of turned the tide in this match. And then, of course, being aggressive, going for that kill shot there on the 9th throw. Ice in his veins, he hit that 7 there to tie this thing up. And then after a miskilled shot there on his 10th throw, he was able to come away with the victory.
We are just getting started on this episode of Battle Axe. Much more still to come. Stay tuned. You're on MC22. Welcome back to Battle Axe at the Ironside Open in Des Moines. I'm Joey Dania alongside Bobby the Blade Bradford. We're just getting this episode started. Saw a couple of game number 1s early on in this episode, and now we're going to bring you game number 2 between a pair of competitors. Look at this beautiful scene here at the Ironside Axe Club.
Oh, yeah, it's a tremendous event, and we've had wonderful matches here so far, and I'm excited to see the next one.
It's going to be game number 2 between Scott Shell and David Sachs.
Yeah, so we had a tremendous matchup between these two competitors. Scott was able to come out the victor, so he is up 1-0 going into game number 2 here.
Yeah, game number 1 between these two, as you saw earlier here on this episode, it came down to the final throw, and it was Scott Shell hitting the kill shot to get the victory.
Yep, and so Scott starting off down the middle, David going for that upper left-hand side bullseye. It looks like that could be a bullseye. If it's popping through on the right-hand side of that blade, it'll be close, but we'll see. It looks like that could be a 5 there for Scott. Ooh, it ruled a 6, so popping through on the left-hand side there for Shell. You can see there from the side cam.
Couple of bullseyes here from Shell and Sachs. 11 all after the first couple of throws. Shell looking to put this one away with a sweep, taking it in 2 games. Meanwhile, Sachs trying to force a game 3.
Yeah, he was ever so close in game number 1 to coming away with the victory. So he knows he can hang with Shell. But David able to get a point there, so a 1-point lead, 17-16 going into the 4th throw. David definitely a rhythm player, just kind of steps up there and lets her go, and Scott more methodical.
We might have a unicorn here from David Sachs.
We'll
See if the top part of that blade is into the red.
But rule to 5 there for David. It was very close. Just wasn't popping through on the left-hand side of that blade. So a 22-21 lead going into the 5th throw.
David Sachs lining up for his shot here. Throw number 5 with a 1-point lead. Here comes Scott Shell.
Yeah, looks like that's going to be a 5 and possibly. So rule to 6 there for both competitors. Must have been popping through in the bottom part of that blade.
Well, a strong first half for Shell and Sachs. It's David Sachs leading this one by 1 heading into the second half.
Yeah, that was it's a tremendous match here so far. Going into the turn, neck and neck. It's hard to even determine who has the advantage here.
Yeah, this is what makes this tournament so fun to watch. These competitors are just outstanding. They go blow for blow to try and get the win.
And Scott able to tie this thing up 33-33. And a chance for what we dare not speak, and David is off the mark. That could be our first mistake here. We'll see. Got to be hoping that that's a 5 popping through on the top part of the blade, and we'll see what the ruling is here on Scott's because it's very close.
We've got a unicorn, Bobby. 3 straight bullseyes for Scott Shell, and that gives him the lead, 39-38 now.
Yeah, I know David lost the lead, but he is very lucky that that was a 5. It was very close to being a 2, which would have been devastating in a match this close. Looks like that could be a 5 there and a bullseye there for David Sachs. And that is the case, so David able to make another point here.
And once again, we are all tied up here between David Sachs and Scott Shell. 44 all, 2 throws to go. No kill shots here on the 9th throw.
Yeah, it's a bit, I mean, yeah, you want to play the board here for sure. Go right down the middle. And I think this ruling here will determine whether we see some kill shots or not. But a 6 there for David, so a nice bullseye to take a 1-point lead. So Scott is going to be going up for the kill shot, as is David, not to be outdone. So very similar to our first match here, a 1-point lead.
It shows you just how confident these players are in their ability to hit that kill shot. Now the door's open. Once again, Scott Shell can win it with a kill shot.
Yeah, you can see David is none too pleased with this throw, but fortunately for him, Scott was off the mark, so he ties this thing up 1-all going into the 3rd match here.
Yeah, a great job here out of David Sachs. The pressure was on. He was trailing 1-0, had to get this game, and he did just that.
Yeah, it's his back was definitely up against the wall, being down 0-1 versus a very good competitor in Scott Shell. Fortunately for David, though, he came out of the gate hot, as did Scott Shell. This was a very close matchup going into the last throw here. And there was really no mistakes by either competitor. You can look at the scoreboard there, and it's nothing but 5s and 6s. And, of course, they went for the kill shot there on their 10th throw, and both were off the mark. But what a tremendous matchup, you know, just back and forth, really a heavyweight match. David comes away with the victory when he needed it the most. Both competitors definitely want to stay in the A bracket. We know how important that is, but we have a very exciting Game 3 coming up.
Yeah, that's the best part. We get to see these two go at it once again. Now for a Game 2 between Randall Wildeman and Logan Reed.
Yeah, we saw a great match in their first matchup. Logan was able to steal the victory with a nice finish after the turn.
Yeah, he had a nice comeback and finished it off in sudden death. And he gets this one started with what appears to be a flush bullseye. It's a bullseye for Wildeman as well.
Yeah, that bullseye popping through on the top part of the blade there for Randall. So again, he starts off the match with a nice bullseye. Logan, a better start than his 4 that he had in the first matchup, so that's got to be a good feeling.
Looks like Wildeman is off the mark on that one, but the top part of that blade might be into the 5 ring.
Yeah, it looks like there from our action cam that it is. And it's a 5 there for Logan as well. So we are all tied up, 11-11 going into the third throw.
Logan Reed looking to make it a sweep here over Randall Wildeman. Wildeman looking to force a game 3 and stay alive in the A bracket.
Yeah, it looks like that could be a bullseye there for Randall, and it could be a bullseye if it's popping through the bottom part of that blade there for Logan. Ooh, but a devastating ruling there for Randall. Let's see him getting a closer look, but he does not protest.
And we have a leader for the first time in this game. It's Logan Reed now up by 1.
It was a very close throw there by Randall. Looks like a little off the mark there. That could be a 5 there. And we'll see. That could be a bullseye if it's popping through the left part of that blade. And ruled a 6 there for Randall.
Well, another hot start here for Logan Reed and Randall Wildeman. It's a 1-point lead for Logan Reed. He's thrown 3 bullseyes on his first 4 throws.
Yeah, just like our last matchup that we saw, both these competitors are throwing lights out here. No real mistakes to be mentioned.
Yeah, any jitters that they had, they got rid of those in game number 1. These two are on fire right now.
Well, we've progressed very far within the A bracket here, Joey, even for the amateur competition. All these players are very talented throwers. So we should expect close games, high scores, and some pressure-packed kill shots.
And very few mistakes. It all comes down to, like we've seen already today, just maybe one throw in every single game.
Oh, we always talk about how important, one throw usually determines how a match ends up. And that has definitely been the case today.
Logan Reed extending his lead to 3 here. Randall Wildeman trying to mount a comeback.
Yeah, and at this point for Randall, he's just got to try to sneak a point or 2 before kill shots here on the 9th and 10th throw.
So Wildeman gets a 6 and gets a point back after a 5 from Logan Reed. That ends a streak of 4 consecutive bullseyes from Reed.
Yeah, Logan really locked in. Randall not going to go down quietly, though. Looks like that could be a bullseye there for him on that upper right-hand side bullseye. But Logan keeps pace with a bullseye of his own.
We've got another nail-biter here at the Ironside Axe Club. 46-44, Logan Reed leading this one with 2 throws to go. No kill shot attempt coming here.
No, Randall he has that middle bullseye, so he's electing to go down the middle of the board. See if he can sneak a point. He might have snuck a point there, and that is the case. So he is able to get a point now. 1-point game. Obviously, I think we'll be getting a kill shot there from Randall. There's the indication. And again, we get a kill shot attempt for the thrower who is in the lead.
So it's going to come down to the kill shot once again. What else is new?
And so we'll see what that looks like. Randall could be off the mark. And we'll see how Logan fares here, but yeah, you can see there from the action cam, Randall is off the mark, and Logan hit a 7, so Logan completes the sweep.
Logan Reed with another kill shot, sealing his victory over Randall Wildeman, 58-50, the final in this one. What a round from Logan Reed.
Yeah, it was just a tremendous round there. Logan completes the sweep of Randall Wildeman, 58-50. You can see there from the scorecard, Joey, not a single mistake by either competitor, really. It just came down to Randall not being able to hit that kill shot or not being able to get, a point on one of the throws, but no real devastating mistakes. It's just very consistent throws. Every player is really locked in. You got to feel for Randall Wildeman. He's going to be heading down to the B bracket. He has to fight his way back. Logan Reed advances in the A bracket and definitely looks like a competitor that could come away with a championship. So it's just another great match and an exciting finish.
Much more Battle Axe still to come, including a Game 3 in a series. We'll bring that to you straight ahead right here on MC22. Welcome back to Battle Axe here at the Ironside Axe Club in Des Moines, Iowa. I'm Joey Danya alongside Bobby Bradford at the Ironside Open. We're getting awfully close to crowning a champion here in this tournament, featuring some of the very best axe throwers in all of the land.
Yeah, it's been a tremendous tournament. We've had some really incredible matchups, and I'm excited to see our next one.
And now the best 2 words in Battle Axe, game number 3. It's Scott Shell taking on David Sachs.
Yeah, so both these competitors have really put up a fight. It's a shame that one of them has to go down to the B bracket, but I anticipate another very close, well-fought game. Looks like that could be a bullseye for David if it's popping through on the left-hand side of that blade.
6, 5.
And that is the case, so a quick 1-point lead here for David.
David Sachs out to the early lead here on Scott Shell. The first 2 games of this series came right down to the final throw. We'll see if we've got another nail-biter in store in game number 3. You'd expect it to be that way.
Yeah, that looks like a mistake there from David, though. We could have a 4. But not to be outdone, and there's a 4 there for Scott Shell, so David gets away with the mistake. Both players throwing a 4.
Yeah, you rarely see that from these 2 competitors or anyone still left in this tournament.
Oh, you can see there David stopped his throw, so did not feel comfortable. Was able to stop before he released. And that could be back-to-back 4s there for Scott, and it is.
So Scott Shell stuck in the dreaded vortex right now, but not a lot of damage done. He's still within 2 points because it's been a slow start for David Sachs as well, relatively speaking.
Yeah, and it looks like that could be a 4 there for David. And Scott going for that lower right-hand side bullseye.
David Sachs just laughing it off, having a little fun with the camera here on Battle Axe.
He is definitely having fun out there.
That's what it's all about. That's what really paves the way for success, is finding your groove, your rhythm, just being in a real comfortable, relaxed state and
Absolutely.
staying in that place.
Finding your happy place.
Exactly.
It looks like that could be a bullseye there for Scott. And going down the middle of the board there is David Sachs. We'll see if it's popping through the bottom part of that blade there. And it is. So a couple bullseyes here before the turn.
So David Sachs and Scott Shell back into rhythm now. 25 all. We've got another nail-biter between these 2 competitors.
Yeah, both competitors have to consider themselves very lucky that their mistakes did not lead to a bigger deficit here. At the turn, we have a tie game. Definitely could have been different if they would have capitalized on their opponent's mistakes.
Instead, it's going to come down to these last few throws here between Sachs and Shell. Just what you would want here on Battle Axe. Sachs now up by 1 after back-to-back bullseyes.
We'll see there. It's going to be a very close call if it's popping through on the left-hand side of the blade there for David Sachs. Looks like that's going to be a 5 there for Scott. Could be a huge ruling here. Ref getting a closer look. I think that's going to be popping through.
6.
And it is. So David able to take another point here from Scott Shell to have a 2-point lead.
5:37.
So the pressure's on now for Scott Shell. He's got 3 throws to go to make up a 2-point deficit. Otherwise, he's heading down to the B bracket.
That's another nice throw there by David. You can see Scott is none too pleased with his throw. He's got to be hoping that that's a 5, and it is ruled a 5, but dangerously close to being a 3. And so David adds to his bullseye streak, going from a unicorn to 4 straight bullseyes here. And of course, the old announcer's jinx had to jinx him. Looks like that's going to be a 5 there for him.
You had to say something.
I had to say something. So it looks like that could be a bullseye there for Scott, but ruled a 5 there for Scott. We'll see if he wants to get a closer look.
And Scott Shell has to go for the kill shot now, down by 3. David Sachs has the luxury of not needing the kill shot. If he can just hit a 6 or a 5, he can put this one away.
Yeah, and David is definitely in a rhythm. He hits that flush bullseye to really seal the deal here, but Scott looks like that could possibly be a 7 if it's popping through, but ruled a miss. So Scott Shell will be going down to the B bracket.
5:54.
So it is David Sachs. After falling in game number 1, he comes back to get the victory in 3 games, 54-45, the final here in game number 3.
Yeah, it was just a tremendous matchup by both competitors. Obviously, Scott had those back-to-back fours, kind of stumbling out of the gate a little bit, but David had 2 4s within his first 4 throws as well. So really no damage done going into the turn. Then David Sachs just really got locked in. You can see there from the 5th throw to the 8th throw, nothing but bullseyes. Was able to pick up 3 points on Scott Shell at that point, and really just never looked back. So a tremendous matchup by both competitors. Again, it's a shame that Scott has to go down to the B bracket, but he's a tremendous competitor. I'm sure we'll be seeing some more of him. And David advances in the A bracket and looks like he could be a champion.
Next up, it's going to be Wesley Powell taking on Scott Shell. No time for Shell to sulk over that loss. He's got to get right back to work here in the B bracket.
Yeah, we are down in the B bracket here. Wesley Powell, Scott Shell. Match number 1. We'll see how Scott rebounds here. After losing, going down to the B bracket, especially after going through such a grueling match that he just had with David Sachs. We'll see how he responds, if he's tired or if he's locked in. And after throw number 1, I think he's locked in.
So too appears to be Wesley Powell. It's a different sense of urgency when you're playing in the B bracket. It's win or go home now.
Yeah, and to both these competitors, they've made it very far in the A bracket as well. So, getting back to the A bracket is still a very tough thing to do. But they've proven that they are elite throwers and can definitely do that.
Yeah, the B bracket is a gauntlet. It's hard to come out of it, but the good thing is somebody will come out of it and find a spot in the championship.
So both players right now with a chance for what we dare not speak, and Scott is off the mark. Got to be hoping that that's a 5, and it looks like Wesley got his unicorn there with a nice flush bullseye down the middle. So Scott popping through on the bottom part of that blade for a 5. Well, I wonder if Wesley's slightly injured. You see him kind of stretching there a little bit. I wonder if he tweaked something.
Yeah, Wesley Powell with a red-hot start, but is he okay? We'll see.
We'll see. Got to shake it off and focus up on the board. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. It looks like that could be a 5 there for Scott, possibly a bullseye. And Wesley going for that lower left-hand side bullseye. Very close call for both competitors here. We'll see if it's popping through. Another bullseye there for Wesley and a very, very close 5. You see both competitors getting up close to take a look.
Well, Wesley Powell appears to be okay as he continues to pour on the bullseyes. Scott Shell getting a closer look at this one.
And he's calling, he just called for a second, so going to get a closer look at that call. And again, whatever the ruling is here by the secondary judge, that will be the ruling that is upheld. Very close. It's even so hard to see if it's popping through on the left-hand side of that blade. And the red has to be visible on both sides. So the 5 is upheld.
So Wesley Powell extending his lead over Scott Shell. It's 24-22 after the first 4 throws.
Yeah, Wesley just coming out the gate. Red hot, 4 consecutive 6s. I think he wanted to get a score check just to see those 4 6s in a row.
Just wanted to admire how impressive it looks on
Correct.
the scorecard.
They could go away with 1 throw, so see it while you can. But it looks like that's going to be a bullseye there for Scott, and that's a bullseye for Wesley. So 5 consecutive bullseyes there for him.
Well, a bullseye for Shell and a 5th consecutive bullseye for Wesley Powell. A perfect first half for Powell. He's only leading by 2 because Scott Shell's been hot as well.
Yeah, this is the kind of matchup that we're getting used to seeing here as we get closer and closer to crowning a champion here. Perfection sometimes is not good enough. So Scott going down the middle. Looks like that's going to be a flush bullseye there. And then Wesley with another bullseye there. You can see from the action cam popping through the top part of the blade.
Well, this is a fun one to watch. Shell and Powell going right at it here. Pretty much nothing but bullseyes from these two.
Yeah, it's hard to say Scott's 2 5s on his 3rd and 4th throw are mistakes here, but as it stands, Wesley is up by 2, 36-34. Another great throw there by Scott. That looked like that's going to be a bullseye. Oh, and then you can see there from the action cam as well, Wesley's able to keep it up. So another consecutive bullseye there. Bullseye there by Wesley.
Wesley Powell on fire. He's up by 2. 3 throws to go. Can Scott Shell get back in it? Or will Wesley Powell keep pouring on the bullseyes?
Well, at this point for Scott, you can't anticipate Wesley making a mistake here, so you just have to keep pace and then attack with that kill shot there on the 9th and 10th throw. And Scott is able to keep pace Wesley with an impressive streak of bullseyes here.
And to your point, Bobby, I think Shell's got to go for the kill shot here, but it doesn't look like he's going to.
Well, yeah, you don't want the game to get away from you for sure, and you've been keeping pace with him since the turn. You can see Wesley wisely waiting for Scott to throw, waiting all the pressure on him. But it looks like both competitors, another bullseye, so 9 consecutive bullseyes there by Wesley. Just tremendous, and there's the kill shot call there by Scott.
And Wesley Powell's not going to go up for the kill shot, so we've got a situation where...
Oh, he did. He is going up for the kill.
All right.
So he made the call there.
I stand corrected. It's going to come down to a kill shot attempt here from Wesley Powell and Scott Shell in what's been a practically perfect game for both of these competitors. The only mistakes, if you want to call them that, just a couple of 5s from Shell. Looks like he at least got the 7 there.
Yeah, it looks like at least a 7 there for Scott, so pressure is on Wesley. We will see. I think the judge has to get a closer look. He doesn't even know. Oh, but it looks like that could possibly be popping through on the left-hand side there. Wow, so it was a hit 8 there for Scott and a miss for Wesley on the 10th throw.
Scott Shell getting the victory with a kill shot on the final throw. What a heartbreaking way for Wesley Powell to lose here in game number 1. He had been perfect through his first 9 throws with bullseyes, but it all came down to the kill shot, and Scott Shell took advantage.
Yeah, we've been seeing some heavyweight matchups here, Joey, tonight, but this one takes the cake. 9 consecutive bullseyes there by Wesley. He goes for the kill shot there on the 10th throw, and he is off the mark by just a little bit. Unfortunately for him, he goes down 0-1 in this best-of-3 matchup versus Scott Shell. And then for Scott, can you say? Being resilient, he kept on fighting, after those 2 5s on his 3rd and 4th throw, nothing but 6s, and then that crucial clutch kill shot there on his 10th throw to come away with the victory, 60-54, and we'll see if he can complete the sweep.
Well, we're not done yet with this episode of Battle Axe. A couple more matches still to come. We'll bring them to you straight ahead here on MC22. Welcome back to Battle Axe here at the Ironside Open in Des Moines, Iowa. I'm Joey Dania alongside Bobby Bradford here at the Ironside Axe Club, where it's been a thrilling tournament as we look to crown a champion.
Yeah, we've seen so many tremendous matches, Joey. I mean, everything's come down to one throw, usually being a kill shot. So I'm excited to see our next matchup.
David Sachs looking to keep rolling along in the A bracket. He'll be taking on Lonnie Kirkley.
So Lonnie, first time seeing him this episode. We've seen him in episodes past here. So we are in the A bracket, the first match, best of 3 between David Sachs and Lonnie Kirkley. David traditionally going for that upper left-hand side bullseye. We'll see if it's popping through on the right-hand side for a bullseye. It looks like Lonnie is off the mark a little bit.
See if that's a 5 for Kirkley, and it is. So it's David Sachs out to the early lead, 6-5 here over Kirkley.
Yeah, so tale of 2 throwers here. David definitely steps up to the line, grips it and rips it. Lonnie, very precise, takes his time, lines up his throw. Definitely a patient thrower. Looks like that could be a bullseye there for David, and a bullseye there for Kirkley as well.
So a nice start here for Kirkley and Sachs. Back-to-back bullseyes for Sachs. He's got the 1-point edge.
So David with a chance where we dare not speak. It's going to be very close. If it's popping through on the left-hand side, he will have a unicorn. And Lonnie going for that lower left-hand side bullseye. Kind of crisscrossing the board here. But a bullseye for Lonnie and a 5 for David.
So we're all tied up here after the first 3 throws between Lonnie Kirkley and David Sachs. 17 all. That's a football score.
Yeah, so we saw how Scott responded after being sent down to the B bracket with a really tremendous performance. We'll see how David finishes up here. But But he looks to be carrying over that momentum. Looks like that could be a bullseye there for him if it's popping through the top part of that blade. And a devastating 3 there for Lonnie Kirkley.
Well, you don't see a lot of threes in this tournament, and especially not at this juncture of the tournament. David Sachs taking full advantage. He's now up by 3.
Yeah, so it's very important for David to keep the pedal to the metal. Ooh, that was a wobbly axe there. Definitely don't want to see any drops here at this stage in the game. It looks like that could be a 5 there for David. And ruled a bullseye there for Lonnie, so Kirkley able to get a point back there after that devastating 3.
So it'll be a 2-point lead for David Sachs heading into the second half. Had a little bit of a traffic jam there between Kirkley and Sachs as they switch sides.
Locked in the competition. It looks like, oh, David's got to hope that that's popping through for a 5 there. Otherwise, that's going to be a 3. Something he desperately does not want to have.
Opportunity here for Kirkley.
That could be a bullseye if it's popping through on the right-hand side of the blade. Oh, looks like it's popping through on the top there for a 5 for David.
But Kirkley gets a bullseye, so he gets within a point now. Things tightening up here.
Yeah, Lonnie responding really nicely after that 3 there on his 4th throw with 2 consecutive 6s to make this a 1-point game going into the 7th throw. Really putting the pressure back on David. It looks like that could be a 5, and we'll see here. Oh, that could be a 3 there for Lonnie. Very close. Be a huge ruling here. So a couple of 5s by the hair of his chinny chin chin.
Battle axe can be a game of centimeters. Lonnie Kirkley still just down by 1. 3 throws to go.
Yeah, Lonnie getting a score check here. Down by 1 with 2 throws to go. He just needs to try to sneak a point and really force the kill shots. But you can see there, David is none too pleased with that throw. He's got to be hoping that that's a 3, because otherwise it's a 2. And
See if Kirkley got that into the 5 ring.
And it is ruled a 2, so a 3-point swing here after David Sachs throws a devastating 2.
Well, Kirkley now with the lead, 42-40, 2 throws to go.
Yeah, you can see David watching Lonnie to see if he's going to be calling for a kill shot. David's going to play the middle of the board here, just trying to sneak a point, knowing that if Lonnie hits a bullseye here and David hit a 5, it's going to be a 3-point swing, so he'll be going for the kill shot, I am assuming, no matter what.
Yeah, the difference between a 2-point lead and a 3-point lead is very big heading into the final throw.
And a 6 there for Lonnie and a 5 there for David, so Lonnie able to make this a 3-point game going into the 10th throw. You see without question David going for the kill shot. Lonnie, I saw no indication. I would imagine he's electing to play the board with a 3-point lead, and he's going to wait for David to throw. Ooh, see, that could be at least a 7.
And this is where that 3-point lead makes such a difference. Kirkley now in position where he can ice it with the bullseye.
And he can ice it with a 5 as well because he has that 3-point lead.
Yeah, if that's a 7, he can ice it with the...
Yeah, he's got to be hoping that's
5.
not a 5. I don't think that's a... It's either a 7 or a miss there for David, so... And it is a 7 and a 5 there for Lonnie.
So that'll do it. Lonnie Kirkley getting the victory here over David Sachs, 53-52.
Yeah, what a tremendous matchup. You can see there on the 4th throw. Lonnie had that 1-3, but he responded really nicely with a couple of bullseyes and was able to put the pressure back on David Sachs, who unfortunately for him, on his 8th throw, threw a devastating 2 that swung the tide in Lonnie's favor. And Lonnie did not look back. He was able to come away with the victory, 53-52. But both competitors did a really nice job throwing consistently. David with that nice kill shot 7 there on his 10th throw. Unfortunately for him, he came up a little bit short, but these are tremendous throwers. This is a high-pressure environment, and both these players have come to win, knowing how close they are to a championship. So we'll see how David responds after this loss, but from what we've seen already, I think he's going to respond and put up a fight with Lonnie.
Well, we've got one more match still to go here on this episode of Battle Axe. It's going to be Wesley Powell taking on Scott Shell. Game number 2 here in the B bracket.
Yeah, we'll see if Scott Shell can continue to advance through the B bracket and send Wesley Powell home, or see if Wesley can force a Game 3.
And Wesley Powell was so sharp in game number 1 of this series.
Yeah.
He threw 9 consecutive bullseyes, but he missed the kill shot, and that's how Shell got the victory.
And he starts this match off with a 5. So first time seeing that from Wesley here tonight. But Scott just focused in, almost playing a mind game with Wesley, just focusing up on the board.
Shell's got to hope that one's in the 5 ring. It looks like it is.
Yep, it looks like that's a 5 there and a 6 for Wesley. So Wesley's back on track. We'll see if he can put together 9 more bullseyes in a row.
Would not surprise me one bit.
But with a 1-point lead here, Scott just did a tremendous job keeping pace with Wesley. He knew exactly what he was doing over there. He knew that Wesley was throwing lights out, but he just did a tremendous job of keeping pace with him and really put himself in a position to go for that kill shot there on the 10th throw. Unfortunately for him, he came out the victor.
Yeah, he threw just a couple 5s. Everything else was a bullseye along with his kill shot, and that was crucial. He stayed within 2 the entire time.
Correct.
That put him in position to get the win with the kill shot.
Yeah, and that's, when you have an opponent that's throwing lights out, that's all you can really hope for. It's just to keep pace. We've talked about it time and time again. You got to put the pedal to the metal when you have the lead, and if you have a deficit, you just want to try to make incremental points back, but it's hard to do when your opponent's throwing nothing but 6s. So he did a tremendous job in that match, and we'll see what that throw is there for Wesley and Scott. It's going to be very close to a 5 there for Powell. Ooh, but ruled a 3. Wow.
A devastating 3 here from Wesley Powell. That gives Scott Shell the lead, 20-19.
Yeah, you can see Wesley just needs to regroup. That 3 is kind of living with him rent-free in his brain right now. But he just needs to focus up, find that bullseye stroke that he had in game number 1. We all know it's possible. And that could be a bullseye possibly for Scott if it's popping through. And, Wesley off the mark again. You got to be hoping that that's a 5. And it is.
Well, a fortunate break there for Wesley Powell. He could not have afforded another 3 here against Scott Shell. Shell leading by 2 heading into the second half.
Yeah, that was dangerously close to being a 2 there for Wesley. So he was lucky he was popping through on the top part of that blade. But you can see there, that 3 is just going through his mind. I'm wondering how much that first match is kind of sticking with Wesley here a little bit. He had that victory until the 10th throw. So I would think you got to be able to forget about it. We talk about it all the time. You got to be a goldfish, but you got to focus up on that board and do what you can.
Yeah, easier said than done, especially when you're playing at this point in the tournament and you had what was practically a perfect game. It's got to sting.
It does. It absolutely has to sting. But another nice bullseye there from Scott Shell, up by 3, going into the 7th throw with a chance for what we dare not speak.
So Scott Shell leading 32-29, 4 throws to go.
Looks like that could be possibly a bullseye if it's popping through on the right-hand side. For Scott, we'll have to get a closer look from our action cam. And we'll have to see. That could be popping through on the top part of the blade there for Wesley for a 5.
He's got to hope it is.
Yeah, he's got to hope, because otherwise it's a 3. And it is ruled a 3, so another 3 there for Wesley. And he is none too pleased.
All of a sudden, Scott Shell has a 6-point lead after a unicorn. This is danger time for Wesley Powell.
Yeah, Wesley trying to regroup, visibly frustrated, though, going right to the middle of the board. Look like that's going to be a 5 for him, and could be, that's a nice flush bullseye there from Scott Shell. We need a close look. Just for confidence, Wesley would love to have a bullseye, but unfortunately for him, it is a 5, and Scott able to pick up another point. There's the kill shot call there for Wesley, who needs it, and some luck.
So Wesley Powell going up for the kill shot, down by 7. He's got to get this and put a little pressure on Shell.
Yeah, looks like that could possibly be a 7 if it's popping through. If he can even get a couple points here on Scott, put himself in position to attack that kill shot again. But it all comes down to this ruling.
Looks like,
ooh, wow.
Yeah, he missed it by a matter of centimeters, and Shell puts it away with another bullseye. He's up by 13 now, heading into the final throw.
Yep, and both players calling for the kill shot there. Wesley looks like he's off the mark a little bit. Frustrated kill shot throw there. And we'll have to see there from Scott if it's popping through on the bottom part of the blade. And ruled a couple of misses.
Well, Scott Shell staying alive in the bracket, taking this series in 2 games. Great sportsmanship as he puts his arm around his competitor, Wesley Powell, who had a fantastic run here at this tournament.
Yeah, Wesley Powell's run is over, unfortunately for him. You know, he had such a tremendous first matchup there with those 9 consecutive bullseyes. And then Scott came out the victor with that kill shot there on the 10th throw in their first match. And I just think that was living with him this entire match here because he came out the gate, he had that bullseye there on his second throw. But as you can see from the scorecard there, Joey, he had no other bullseyes there on the scorecard. He had that devastating 3 on the 4th throw. That 5 that he threw on his 5th throw was very close to being a 2. So he was getting frustrated. You know, he knew that his tournament was coming to an end. Unfortunately for him, it ends 50-37, but Scott Chill advances in the B bracket.
Well, what a thrilling episode this was of Battle Axe. Thanks so much for watching. We'll crown a champion on our next episode for Bobby the Blade and the entire MC22 crew. I'm Joey Dania. Thanks for watching. See you next time on Battle Axe.